Life is your video game. If you're anything like me, you love video games. You love the story, you love the artwork, you love the dopamine loops, you love the fun you can have with friends. Video games, when it comes to real life motivation and improvement, they're insidious. I hate to say that about them because I've loved them since I was a kid. My first memories in life were of video games. My first experiences of real progression and feeling like I'm going somewhere in life, that came from video games. My first intrigue into storytelling, into writing, into music, into scene direction, that all came from video games. And they're an amazing art form for many different reasons, but they pale in comparison to life. See, the reason we really don't enjoy the video game of life is because we're way too immersed in it. It's so easy to kind of fall into the trap of attachment. Just being too attached to outcomes, to your outward circumstances. It can be way too easy to look at the scary things in this life and just want to hide from them, just procrastinate them. All the difficult things, it's like you're encouraged a lot of the time to avoid discomfort in that way. You want to play a different version of that game of life with worse graphics and, a lot less sensations, but hey, it's safe. If you die in the game, you don't die in real life. If you get hurt, you don't get hurt in real life. But there's the other side of that. If you make $1 million in Grand Theft Auto, you don't make $1 million in real life. You probably lose a lot of money just by buying the game and all the shark cards. If you go to the gym and work out in the game and level up your character, you don't level up in real life. Maybe your reflexes will get better. Maybe depending on what kind of game you're playing, maybe certain parts of your brain will grow or shrink to your likeness. And a lot of gamers like to cope by saying, well, I'm doing that on purpose. You're not doing that on purpose. I obsess over that psychological shit and I don't do it on purpose. The first thing you think of when you think video games, at least on the social scale, is, oh, they're a waste of time. 9 times out of 10, there's something better you could be doing, something more productive you could be doing. It hurts to talk like this about them, to be quite frank. I'm not one of those self-improvement YouTubers who just shits on them and says, no, they're for pussies, they're terrible, they ruin your life, they're evil. I don't think they're evil. I think they are detrimental, especially to certain goals you may set for yourself. For most goals you may set for yourself, they're detrimental. They fry your dopamine receptors, especially if you're like me and you go extreme with it. You stay up till like 5 a.m. fucking playing it because you can't help yourself. Gaming, you don't have to abandon gaming. You gotta take a huge step back from it. In my lifetime, I'm gonna go a year, possibly multiple years, without picking up a video game controller. I know this. I'm just gonna take a journey out. It's such an amazing community. It feels like home to me. It feels like It's like a wholesome feeling I get when I play, which is why it's probably one of the hardest habits for me to shake is video games. I'm going to take a break from it because the mentality I understand that I need to have is that life is the video game. Life is the best game. It's got the best graphics. It's got it's the most immersive. It has the most you feel everything. Pay close attention. There's endless side quests. You would never be able to finish every side quest. Who knows if there's a main quest other than just procreating. A lot of people consider that the main quest of life is just having children. That's fair. I understand why you'd think that. I don't know if I agree. I do want kids though. I just don't think it's really necessarily the primary objective of life. It's what everything in this universe is trying to do, is make more of itself. But that's all philosophy, right? Real life is the video game you should be playing as a young man. 20, 25, 30, that age range, you shouldn't be playing an hour a day. You really shouldn't. It's tough to talk on this. It's tough to mentor on this because I'm in the thick of it too. I'm in the trenches with this. I'm in the trenches with you. I've been playing a lot more lately than I've been in a while. For a while, I was able to keep it to literally just one session a week, even less. I've been doing it a lot lately. Let's just say that. But it doesn't mean you completely fucked up. If you're in my shoes exactly, if you've had a while to just like really cut back on it and then you have this boomerang effect where you're fucking staying up late at night and playing and just your dopamine receptors are fried, your attention's gone because you're thinking about the game all the time. If you're in my shoes, don't take it as just a complete holy shit major catastrophic defeat. Okay? That's not ideal. That's not ideal. If your brain starts calling you a loser, if your self-image starts getting damaged because you're falling back into a habit that you've loved your whole life, it's not good. You got to be gentle with yourself. It's kind of like meditating. It's like mindfulness meditation. That's why it's so important to meditate. When you inevitably lose the focus on your breath, when you meditate, you're supposed to focus on your breath. When you inevitably lose that focus and your mind wanders, you're not supposed to judge yourself. You're not supposed to say, no, bad thoughts. No, get away. Those are bad thoughts. I shouldn't have those thoughts. You just need to bring yourself, gently guide yourself back to your breath. In this instance, your breath is the good habits. It's the gym, it's the journaling, it's the meditating, it's all the good things, all the things you're going to thank yourself for later. And the video games are like the thoughts. There comes a point where video games have they're in the instant gratification camp, so they have the inherent pull, right? It's always going to require more effort to not play video games and go and do something else. There may be some moments when you're just repulsed by video games and you're just like, this doesn't feel right to me, and to that I say, fucking well done, you're in a good spot. You have motivation. But if you're in the trenches, like I am right now, you cannot say, oh, I'm a fucking terrible person, I'm a degenerate gamer, terrible person because I've played video games. You can't do that. That's your self-image breaking down. You had the self-image of, okay, I'm disciplined, I work out, I journal, I do all the right things. Just because you have a stutter step and you trip over maybe a day or two of just hardcore gaming, that doesn't mean everything else was for naught, right? That doesn't mean all that attention you put on the good habits just gets poof fucking erased and now you're a loser and you'll never be good. Gently bring your mind, bring your attention back to the good habits. And that's what I've been doing. I meal prepped this week. I've been struggling so hard to get my fucking diet on track, but that meal prep, that doing that thing just to fucking thank myself for it later, is huge. If you find yourself struggling with the willpower to resist video games and resist just the bad habits in general, at some point you gotta stop resisting them. You gotta stop resisting them. You gotta give that muscle a rest. And you gotta let it recover so it can pull away from them again. Basically what you want to do is cram the good habits in along with the bad habits. That's how you start your turnaround. That's how you get out of a trench. Don't worry about losing the bad habits. What's important is that you get back on track with the good habits so that when you get rid of the bad habits, there's something in place. There's something to replace them. If I successfully avoid playing video games, it's because there's some other important shit for me to do, and I know it, and I actively choose to do that first. And if that means I don't have time for the video game, great. That's awesome. And then you do that for a while, and you do that for a while, and you do that for a while, and then you feel it nagging on you again. Oh man, No Man's Sky. That game was so much fun. You remember how fun that was? You remember how cool all the spaceships and planets and fucking trade systems and all that was? Let's set some time aside. Let's play it. And then maybe the day comes and you gotta do other shit so you can. And then you go, well maybe I'll just play a little more next time. And then your brain starts yearning for it again. And the willpower starts draining. And you're overwhelmed all of a sudden by all these habits that you had down pat. You let a little bit of a hole get onto your hull. And then what do you know? You're in high alert. And you've gone right back to the keyboard, right back to the controller. And like I said, what's really important in moments like this, because especially if you're anything like me, you're an extreme dude. When you relapse hard as fuck. And you gotta be gentle with yourself. You gotta be firm, but also gentle. You know it's bad. But the real goal, the real important thing is not just to resist playing the game, it's to turn yourself more towards the game of life as well. That being all the good habits, that being all the things you're supposed to do, calling your mom, getting those social links up and running. Things in the game, like playing the game, what you do in a video game is what you ought to be doing in real life anyway. That's what they're there for. They simulate what you ought to be doing. I remember Persona 4. First time I ever saw the Persona series, Persona 4, I was thinking to myself, wow, I wish these were my friends in real life. And in reality, I could have had friends like that, but it would have been harder. See, in Persona 4, all you gotta do is press a button and boom, you got friends. Boom. You gotta, go and level up this cool monster that has a really cool dopamine loop that you just do over and over again. And then it's like you're rewarded before you even get to the good part of the friendship. And the good part is just a click away. When in real life, it's much more complicated than that. You got to risk a lot more embarrassment, a lot more rejection, a lot more. Did I already say embarrassment? Play the game of life, people. Get off this YouTube video. Bye.